everybody. So I'm joining you here from the top of what I would call a hill here. If I were on the East Coast, it'd probably be a mountain. But we're gonna do a yoga flow. It's a little bit windy and it's a little chilly, but it's actually really nice for this time of year. And so I thought I would come up and do this. And as I was kind of driving up here and walking up here, I was thinking, I actually tried to film this yoga flow in August before I went on a trip to Ireland. And when I set up out here, there were bees everywhere. Like these little tufts that you see in the grass are often, they're flowers in the summer, and it was sort of that time of year where the bees and yellow jackets get really active right before they go dormant. And so every time I would start to get set up and be like, okay, well, the bee is gone, it would come back. And so I was thinking, on the way up here, that it's really all about timing. And now it's warm enough to be outside doing yoga, and it's cold enough that there are no bees. And hopefully my timing is good because two groups of hikers just walked by, and I'm hoping I can get through the flow before there are any others. But it's really kind of a good metaphor for life where, timing is everything. And so sometimes we try to make something happen and we really, go all for it, and it just doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen. And if we wait long enough, it actually does happen on its own, or the time becomes right for it to come to fruition. And I do think that's one way that life really teaches us patience. So I'm excited to do this flow up here today. I hope that you're going to be able to join outside too, but if you can't, hopefully the scenery is pretty for you, and yeah, it just kind of gives you a breath of fresh air. So we're going to start today in downward facing dog. And one moment, please. So your feet can just pedal out, hands press into the mat, all four corners of your hands, tailbone lifts to the sky. Your ears are between your biceps, spinning the eyes of your elbows to the front of your mat. Taking whatever movement feels good to you as we settle in to our yoga flow today. Breathing in through your nose, sigh it out. Pulling up through your belly, engaging that core, and beginning to settle in to your breath. I want you to look forward, bend your knees, and step forward. Grab opposite elbows with your hands. Take a deep bend in your knees and hang in ragdoll. Head is heavy, letting any tension just roll off your back. Maybe swaying side to side, feeling that nice stretch through your low back. Breathing in. Like behind me, there's a really awesome view of a mountain with two peaks on it, kind of perfectly framed by my legs. So maybe take stock of what you're looking at as you change your perspective. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Shoulders come down your back. Bring your hands to heart center. We'll begin our practice with one Om. Inhale. Om. Off key. Nobody can hear it though because I'm here alone. So as you begin, set an intention for your practice. Decide what it is you want to release today, what you want to focus on, maybe what you're waiting for to come to fruition in your own life. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. For your forward fold, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. You can hold your ankles, you can press your palms to the floor. Well, maybe you can or maybe you can't. It's not particularly common. Inhale, Bring your hands to your shins, halfway lift. Back is flat, shoulders roll down your back, your neck is long, crown extends to the front of your mat as your tailbone pulls back in opposition. Inhale, exhale, plant your hands, step back to a high push-up. In our high push-up, we are pushing the ground away from us, hollowing out through our elbows, engaging our core, our glutes, our quads. Inhale. On your exhale, bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Shine your collarbones open, pull your elbows back. Inhale. Exhale, flip your feet and come into a downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale your right foot to the sky, bend your knee, open up your hip, and just drop into Wild Thing. Maybe take some big arm circles here. Releasing through that shoulder, switch directions. Plant your hand, step your right foot to your left hand, open up for side plank splits. Bending your knees if you choose. I really encourage you to practice outside. Every time I change positions, it's a new view and it's beautiful. Plant your left hand. Take that right foot perpendicular for side plank figure 4. Take some dynamic movement here. Lower your hip and raise your hip. Reach forward. Arm goes with you. Do this for 3 to 5 times. Loosening up through the shoulder, through the hips. One more. On our next one, we're going to plant that hand. Step our right foot forward, drop to our left knee, and press yourself into a low lunge. Arms come up, shoulders are down your back, reaching for Tadasana in every pose. Shoulders over your hips, wrists over your shoulders. Plant that left hand, twist open for a low lunge twist. Gaze is up at the sky or the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, plant both hands. Step yourself back into a high push-up. Press yourself to a downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale. Sigh it out. Inhale your left foot to the sky. Bend your knee. Open up your hip. Drop in to Wild Thing on the other side. Arm takes big circles. Switching directions. On the next circle, we're going to plant that hand and step the other foot forward to side plank splits. Again, maybe bending your knees, maybe taking some shoulder movements. Inhale, plant that right hand, step the left foot perpendicular to your mat. Lower and lift. I really could stand to use some grippy gloves this time of year. That would be nice. Inhale. Plant that left hand. Step your left foot forward. I'm just going to fix my sock. And come again into low lunge. Stacking wrists over shoulders, over hips. Feeling that stretch all the way through that hip flexor on your right side. Plant your right hand. Open up to the left side. Gaze comes up. Inhale. Exhale. Plant your hand. Step back to high push-up. This time we're going to take low push-up Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna go through a couple sunny salutations, build some heat, which I could use right now. So inhale, exhale, look to the front of your mat, jump, step, or hop. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump, step, or hop back, high to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Do that same sequence again at your own pace. One breath, one movement. Inhale, exhale, jump, step, or hop. Rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, upward facing dog. One more. Inhale. Exhale, breathe it all out. Inhale, look forward. Jump, step, or hop. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sigh it out. Maybe do lion's breath. So inhale, stick your tongue out and feels funny, feels silly, but it's fun. Inhale. On your exhale, jump forward, sink in to chair pose. Knees are behind your toes, sinking low in your chair. Cactus your arms if you'd like to open up those shoulders. Gazes forward. Inhale. On your exhale, see if you can sink 2 inches lower. Rooted into your feet. Drawing up through your core. Core is always engaged. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right foot to the sky, step it forward. Spin your back foot to 45 degrees. Rise up for a warrior one. Pressing into that front leg, bringing it parallel if you can. Back leg is engaged. Knee is over your ankle. Hips place forward, shoulders are stacked. Breathe in. Focus your gaze. Feel as you pull up through those inner thighs as if you're pulling your mat together. Inhale one more time. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step back for high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot to the sky. Step it forward. Warrior one on the left. Hips place forward. Breathe in. Creating a powerful warrior pose. Cartwheel your hands. Step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sigh it out. One more. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, jump, step, or hop. Sink into chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot to the sky, step it forward, rise up, warrior one. Exhale to warrior two, hips open, gaze is over that front arm, back arm reaching behind you in opposition. Really sinking in, maybe work that toe forward and sink a little lower. Exhale, reach forward and reverse your warrior. Bring your elbow to rest or come into extended side angle. Gaze comes up. Making sure that your knee stays out over your ankle and doesn't collapse in. Maintaining the structure in this pose. Inhale. Exhale, come back through warrior. Turn your toes towards your mat. Toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Inhale, on your exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Wide-legged forward fold. Today I'm just grabbing my ankles because my hands are cold and my ankles are warm. But take whatever variation you'd like. Remembering your breath, let your head be heavy. One more breath. Rise up. Skandasana. Low and slow in a low side lunge. Stretching out those inner thighs, working those muscles to press you from one side to the next. Using your hands if you'd like. On your next time, turn to the front. Both hands are going to come inside for a runner's lunge. Chest comes up. Gaze comes up. If you'd like, you can work that foot out into a lizard pose, opening up a little more through that hip. So you'll just take your foot out to the edge of your mat and come up on the knife edge of that foot, feeling that stretch through your hip. Inhale. Inhale, we're gonna step back, kick some rocks, to a high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot into the sky, or kick it into the sky, step it forward. Rise up for warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Gaze over that middle finger. Body in a single plane if you can. Hips are open. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale. Exhale, either bring your knee to your elbow or come into extended side angle. Making sure that my video is still going because my phone is ringing. Come back through your warrior and turn your hips to center. Inhale, on your exhale, hinge forward. This time I'm going to take my arms into a bind. feeling that opening through my shoulder. If you can't join your hands together, that's totally fine. Use a strap or a towel or even just an old t-shirt to kind of give you some more space. Inhale and exhale. Rise up. Skandasana. One more. And in our next one, we're going to sink into that low lunge, or I guess a runner's lunge. So we walk our left foot out, both hands come inside, drop to your knee. And maybe work that foot out and open up the hip. Gaze is forward. Step back to high push-up. Low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale your right foot to the sky. Step it forward for a crescent lunge. Back leg is engaged all the way through the glute, sinking low in that right leg. Shoulders are down your back, core is engaged. From here, we're going to go into an eagle pose. So ground through that right foot, step forward, touch down if you need to, wrap your left leg over and your left arm under. Elbows come up to your shoulders if you can. Pull your hands away. Set your drishti. Everything pulls in. Finding stability. If you fall out, that's totally fine. Come back into the pose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, unwind. Reach your arms up. Oops, I'm on a rock. And your knee up. Bring your hands back. All right. See? No big deal if you lose your balance. Airplane pose. Foot comes up. Arms come into a cobra. Inhale. Bring your hands to heart center. Drop to your hand or a block for half moon pose. Raise that arm to the sky for extra balance challenge. You can look up. I don't think I dare do that right now. Drop that foot. And I want you to come into horse pose. Toes are out, heels are in. Drop down. We're going to raise one toe, then the other, working those hamstrings, calves, your feet muscles. We're like halfway there now, so that's good. Sinking low. And I want you to turn to the front, drop down. This time we're going to frame our knee, and we're really going to stretch into this. Feeling that in the hip flexor on your left. You can raise your arms if you'd like or keep them down. Plant your hands, step back, high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right or your left foot to the sky. Step it forward for a crescent lunge. Up on those back toes. Walking that front foot forward as you need to. Engage through that leg. Inhale. If you're shaking, that's okay. I can't tell if I'm shaking because I'm cold or fatigued. Maybe a little of both. Kick your foot up. Right leg goes up and over. Right arm goes under. Eagle pose. Everything pulls to center. Set your drishti. Inhale. On your exhale, unwind. Come to staff pose. And shoot back for airplane pose. Oops. Toes point down. Gaze is just slightly in front of you at a spot on the floor. Hands come to heart center. Drop into half moon. Maybe bring your arm up. You can keep it at your hip. And drop that back leg. Come into horse pose again. Sinking down and lifting one set of toes, then the next. One more on either side. We're going to turn our feet and drop into that low lunge. Stretching through that right hip flexor. Breathing in. Plant your hands. Step back for a high push-up. Move your right hand towards the center of the mat and open up for a side plank. Vashisthasana. You can hold it here. You can kickstand your leg. Come into a star pose. Whatever variation, we're pushing through that side, not collapsing into it. Strong in that arm. Plant your hand back down. High push up. Holding it here. Move your left hand to the center. Open up for side plank on the left. One side may be stronger than the other. Totally fine. Drop to your knee if you need to. Come back through. High push-up. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Inhale your right foot to the sky. Come into pigeon pose. So right leg comes parallel to the front of your mat. Back leg is behind you. You can stay up on long arms. You can come down to your elbows. You can hook that back leg and take a bind. feeling an intense stretch in that quad that I cannot maintain, quite frankly. I'm gonna focus on this hip for today. Clearly need to do some work on my quads. But that is a variation you can take. You can stretch all the way out on the ground if you'd like. Whatever you're doing, we're not over on our hip, we're up on it so that we're feel that pull, that intense stretch, or maybe it's not super intense for you, through that hip. Stretching the glute med, piriformis, keeping these toes flexed. If you feel tension, send a breath to your hip. Just breathing into the hip, stretching out. If you are down on your elbows, go ahead and come back up to long arms. If you're in the bind, you can release it. Inhale. We're going to step back to downward dog, shaking out that leg. Inhale your left foot to the sky. Come into pigeon pose. Again, working that foot or shin parallel. Put a block under your cheek if you need it. Maybe take a bind. This quad's less tight for me. Actually feels kind of good on this side. But I'm still gonna stretch that left hip a little bit. So you can come down to your elbows, come down for your forehead on the mat. You can stay on long arms. Lots of options. You can take king pigeon with or without a strap. Inhale. Sorry, my nose is running. Come back to long arms and press yourself back into a down dog, shaking out that hip. Press into your down dog. Tailbone lifts to the sky. Heels come down towards the mat. Noticing how this might feel different than your last or your first down dog for sure. We're gonna come to a seated position. You can jump into it or you can just sit down. I'm sitting on top of rocks. I don't think jumping is the best option for me at this moment. So just gonna sit here. I want you to inhale deeply and exhale. Centering ourselves for just a moment. We're gonna bring our left leg long, keeping our right knee in. Raise up and fold over that leg. You can grab behind your knee, your ankle, your foot. Feeling a nice stretch. If you keep a flat back, it keeps the stretch more in your hamstring. Come back up. We're gonna switch sides. Left foot comes in, right leg extends, arms come up overhead, and pull that leg towards you. Meaning like your femur is in your joint, pulling back as we lean forward. Feels really good. You can bend your knees a little or a lot. Keeping that foot flexed. Come back up. We're gonna turn, well, you can stay how you are. I'm gonna turn so you can see my knees. But we're gonna take cow face pose. So one knee stacks over the other. Okay, you can grab your feet and just rise yourself high towards the sky, crown pulling towards the sky. Or you can bring your arms into a bind. One arm comes up by your ear, the other wraps around. Sorry, I'm grabbing my ponytail and not my hand. So grab your hand, getting a really nice shoulder opening. You can use a strap for this if you need to as well. Unwind your arms. And we're gonna switch our knees. So now, for me, my right foot's on top. I'm gonna bring my left arm up by my ear and take that bind with my arms. Unwind. We're going to do a little bit of core work. So unwrap your knees. We're going to turn so that our feet are towards the front of the mat. Lie on your back. Knees come into tabletop. You can stay down, relaxing your head on the mat for this. So we're just going to bicycle our knees, or you can support your head with your hands. Tuck your chin, roll up so that you're in a C curve, and we're going to reach our elbow to our knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Bring your legs up to the sky. We're gonna plant our hands into the mat. Tailbone is heavy. Inhale, lower your feet about 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, lower another 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, hover your feet 2 inches off the mat. And breathe in and out. Do not hold your breath here. Inhale, exhale, raise your feet 30 degrees. Core is tight. Inhale, exhale, raise your feet 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, raise them up. We're gonna rock ourselves up, and we're gonna take boat pose. So you can take a couple variations. So the first variation is just to slightly tuck your tailbone and pull back on your knees. You're still engaging the core. The next thing you might do is raise one foot and then the other to get used to that kind of more engaged core. You can bring both feet here. Bring your hands down. You can extend your feet. In Pilates, this is like a full teaser. Whatever variation you're in, you're going to continue to breathe. You can take a high boat or a low boat. You can switch. So low boat, high boat. Low boat, high boat. Low boat. I am like on uneven ground here. It's kind of funny. And we'll do one more. Whoop. Very nice. I want you to lay on your back, stretch your arms all the way overhead. Feel that nice relaxation. Bring your heels in towards your glutes. We're going to take either bridge or wheel. So for bridge, your heels are kind of grazing your hands. You're going to tilt your pelvis, engage your glutes, and push up. If you'd like to come into wheel, plant your hands behind your beside your shoulders, behind your shoulders. Inhale, you can press yourself to your crown first. Ooh, and then press yourself all the way up. Breathing in deep. Take 5 full cycles of breath. And come down. Supta Konasana. Feet are together, knees come wide into a butterfly. One hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Breathing in, allowing your breath to normalize. So in my wheel, I was basically staring directly at the sun. For our next round, I'll be taking bridge pose because that was brighter than what I wanted. When you feel your heartbeat is normalized, set up for another round of bridge or wheel. Inhale, exhale, press up. If you're in wheel, you can clasp your hands, walk your shoulders underneath you to open those shoulders a little more. Five cycles of breath in whatever pose you've taken. And come down. This time we're going to come into happy baby. So knees come up, also called dead bug, but I like happy baby better. You can grab behind your knees, grab your ankles, you can grab the outer edges of your feet. Whatever you're doing, make sure your tailbone is pressed into the ground. Maybe rock back and forth, giving yourself a little massage. When you're done, bring your feet to the sky for waterfall pose. You can do shoulder stand. Yeah, I'll do shoulder stand. Well, no, I won't. That hurts. It hurts when I press into the ground. So I'm going to stay in waterfall pose. If you want to go into shoulder stand, support your low back with your hands, not looking to the right or the left. Hips press forwards. And when you're ready, in a controlled way, drop your feet behind you for plow pose. Pressing into the balls of your feet to stretch through your backside body. Gently roll down into deaf man's pose. Your knees come beside your ears. And you roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. If you're in waterfall pose, let's meet them. Feet are extended out. Just gonna scoot myself a little. We're gonna bring our knees into tabletop. Arms stretch out to the side. Drop your knees to the right. Gaze comes to the left for a supine twist. Breathing through this. For us, this is going to be our last pose. We're going to switch sides. But being at home, so drop your knees to the left. You can certainly do any last postures you want before you go into Shavasana. Any stretches that you feel that you needed, take those postures at this time. If you feel like you're done, we're going to stretch our feet out. Put your, hang on, gotta let my water bottle, just spill it. All right. Let your feet splay out. Totally relaxed, arms are beside you. Scan your body for any tension. And if you find any, release it at this time. Checking in with your shoulders. If you need to tense anything up to let it relax, please do so. I always like to check in with my throat. Am I feeling any tension there in my jaw? Relax your forehead. And let your body just sink into your mat. Taking a deep rest. No longer engaging in that ujjayi breath. Our breath is natural. Slow and steady. Slowly bring some movement back to your fingers and toes. And take a deep breath in, keeping your eyes closed. Roll onto one side using your arm as a pillow. Resting here as long as you need to. And then keeping your eyes closed, bring yourself into a comfortable seated position. Take a deep breath in. Hands come to heart center. We'll close our practice with one Om. Thumbs come to third eye. The light in me sees and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat and taking care of your body. I hope you enjoyed this practice and the beautiful views. If you did, drop me a like or a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see on the channel. Share it with a friend. As always, I love you all, and I hope you have a really great day.